Hello and welcome to Arena FPS News episode number 33. So first up, Doom got released on May the 13th and seems to be very well received by the gaming public and critics alike. Had a lot of very high scores for reviews on the single player. However, I kind of feel like the multiplayer still has the same issues, if not more, than the one we saw in the open beta. There's now a chain gun in it and it is ridiculous. It takes up most of your screen and does crazy damage. I should have some footage running for you. When I played this actual game, I ended up with a stupid amount of frags and it really wasn't difficult at all. So I think that game's gonna have some issues unless they balance things.
I'm getting the feeling they sort of just palmed off the multiplayer now. I didn't think that was going to be the case at the start of this, but it seems like they just put all their effort into the single player and released just a casual fun multiplayer that they didn't put an awful lot of thought into. I know it was outsourced as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Developer that had worked on Call of Duty or Halo, or possibly both. Okay. It's a bit of a shame, but the single player was great, and I think Snap Maps might turn out alright, but I feel like it's not being utilised too much at the moment. I saw a thread on Reddit saying that no one's actually doing anything on it.
It looked limp when they first showed it off, and it seems like it hasn't got any less limp. Just just dropping little objects into prefab maps and stuff. It's not going to be a really powerful mod tool, and there is no ability to mod the game, right?
No, they've not released an SDK. There was a petition for them to release a full SDK, but I don't think it's going to touch the sides.
If you're buying Doom for multiplayer, don't. If you're buying it for Snap Map, don't. But if you're buying it for single player, do.
Yeah, or Doom. Reflex patch 0.43. So this patch has really just made a lot of people very happy. For quite some time, some members of the community weren't too happy with timers being in the game, and this added a competitive mode, which basically just pulls them out. It doesn't expose them to lower, which is nice for those of you who want to run tournaments, such as myself, without timers. I think it's the good way forward. They also implemented a experimental mode, and in that, essentially, there's a few changes, but the idea of the mode as a whole is to really just put some interesting things in the game that maybe the community aren't too sure about.
Which, to be honest, they're not really sure about anything.
Yeah.
So this is the only way I can think of where they can actually deviate from the standard formula and try new things without getting completely lambasted.
Yeah, no, I agree. And at the moment, what they've got in is ramp fix, which is fantastic. Plasma has some volume now, so it's a little bit fatter. LG also have volume, so it's a bit fatter, which means it's easier to hit, which I'm not too sold on at the moment. But the damage was reduced to 5, and the knockback's been reduced as well. Also, the rocket splash has increased. So, interesting weapon balance changes. I'm not sure how many will go through or they'll be tweaked. I expect with experimental, there might be like various iterations on balance tweaking. So we might see something change to the LG again, and then it's tested for another week or two, and then it's put in the game.
Yeah, I'd like to see LG 5 come through and the rocket splash.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I'm not sold on a lot of the other changes.
Well, the ramps are great. I think the ramps are really good. As well as that, there was some fixes to the CPU and memory on servers specifically, I think. So that basically means if you're playing like a 5v5, like 10 players in a server, it will make the servers not lag quite as much. So that's nice. It means you can play big team games without having all your issues, and everyone's happy about that. They fixed the double kill bug, where you could accidentally kill someone twice with one shot. It's mostly in team modes. I don't think it might have happened in duel once or twice, but it was quite apparent in team modes. So they're all great changes for Reflex. Happy with those.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Toxic patch 0.95. So this game received a fairly large patch with 2 new maps and a demon battle mech. Now the new maps are called Cube and Citadel, and Citadel is very similar to Facing the Worlds on kind of the theme of it. It's the actual map itself is a little bit different, but it looks quite similar and it feels quite similar to Facing the Worlds from UT, and that map has the demon battle mech in it. But this game's still struggling. I was looking on the workshop and they've got some cool maps on there, like The Edge from Quake 2 and other user-generated maps. I'm sure Aerowalk is there somewhere, but I still think that they're struggling for numbers. not a good spot for them.
Yeah, part of me really wants this game to just do insanely well, just because it's like a beautiful underdog story. Because this game has been shafted from every corner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just releasing. Well, we said it every time, but it's. I mean, hopefully the play numbers will pick up at some point. The maps do look cool, and I think the combat's actually quite fun. Like, there's nothing technically wrong with it. It's just in the scene right now, it's gonna struggle. And talking about the competitor for Toxic, we have UT. So this also had a patch, which came out last week, and essentially there wasn't much going on, but the Unreal Engine was updated for UT, so now they're on some new version, which essentially just means the performance is increased. I think there might be some vague things like the graphics look slightly nicer, but the main thing is performance that I could see. There was also a party system. It's like the lobby system in Quake Live if you're au fait with that. So you can kind of join in with your mates and then load straight into a game as a group, which is nice. I like that they're really going for cool features, which is something that arena FPS games generally struggle with. Things like matchmaking.
Features have been absent.
Yeah.
For ages now. It's just been gameplay. So a game coming out with matchmaking and all this other social stuff would be streets ahead when it comes to social features.
Yep. I think UT's on the right path. Some of the user base has been a little bit vocal about annoyances with some things, because it seems like whenever they release a patch, there's some things that break in the game, but that's just game development, especially in early alpha. And last but not least, Ahoy brought us a video looking at Quake, the original Quake, and obviously it went on to the Quake 2, Quake 3, and Quake 4 titles, and it's really quite good. It's about an hour and 7 minutes long, so it's quite lengthy. It's really something you want to sit down and kind of enjoy with a cup of tea or coffee or whatever beverage you. Box of tissues, yeah. I mean,
it's just a man.
He's got a
really
nice voice. Yeah,
talking about Quake for an hour. So for me, that is a box of tissues occasion.
It really is. But yeah, it's a cool video. It looks a lot at the weapons and monsters in Quake 1, and then kind of goes on to the more meta-analysis of how it affected modding in games further down the line, and how the engines themselves were utilised in various projects all the way through up to Call of Duty, and the impact that the game has had on the overall gaming genre, not necessarily just on arena FPS. So it's really great production. Definitely do recommend you checking that out. So that was the news.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. We'll have another. I think we're streaming something at some point. Just go on Twitch.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, look at the new Arena FPS subreddit. It looks nice. Go do that.